Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to another Friday night session right here of We the People, presented by the Diamond Factory. And as you know, we can get our little commercial stuff out of the way here. You can subscribe and donate right here on our YouTube channel. Our our Cash App is $JEK3. That's translated into JEKIII. And all donations go to help keep us on the air with our programs like tonight. Tonight, we're going to delve into a little more Veterans Affairs. As you all know, my background is a veteran, uh, and especially veterans as we get older and try to make sure that we are properly compensated, make sure that our disability ratings are where they should be. Uh, I'm actually bringing in a gentleman tonight, Mr. Samuel Ross, who will give you some information and will also let you know about his websites and his different organizations to help veterans. So, without any further ado, let's bring in Mr. Ross. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, James. How are you?
Oh, hey, every day above ground is a good day.
Oh man, you're telling me.
So,
Are you able to hear me and everything? Okay, I'm using a
yes,
new thing. Okay.
yes, sir. We are definitely uh, ready to hear some of your uh, life tonight, and also how probably some veterans who, like myself in the past, have been really discouraging about going through all of the paperwork in order to get your disability rating. Uh, I'm sure there's, excuse me, I'm sure there's somebody out there that needs your information. So let's start out a little bit about your life, Samuel, or can I call you Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
Okay, let's kind of talk about your tour in the military. What made you decide to join the military after being turned down the first time?
Oh well, man, just like the exact reason to even get into the mill in the first place was there was none. I had no idea kind of what I was doing. So after I got denied that first time, that's about the first time I ever tried for more than 3 or 4 months to do something. You're young and you're trying all those things, like you're trying everything out there. So it was the first thing I kind of stuck with. And then when they told me no, I was like, okay, so what's next? And so I just walked next door and I tried every branch and then I kind of got stubborn. I got real stubborn about it.
So where'd you end up?
I ended up in the National Guard,
Okay, what state?
Tennessee.
Okay, all right, okay. Tennessee. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I remember Hopkinsville very, very, very well.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I got to be in during COVID and all that fun stuff. So, and I was a medic there, kind of stuck with the medical side.
uh, Messy work there. Messy work.
It,
Uh,
it can be.
yeah. I mean, I went in, right at the time when they started teaching you how to uh, give each other IVs, and I can only
That's it right there.
I can only tell you, that the number of people that I smacked for not hitting my veins the first time was definitely in the double digits. Um,
And that's the thing is, especially in the military, when you're first learning, everybody has to do it, and nobody's ever done this before.
I know, but so now you've built a successful company without a formal business background. Uh, Honest question: have you ever Googled, what the hell am I doing?
Daily. Is that a decent answer for it, man? Do we ever really know what we're doing? I when I started this, I had no idea where it'd be. I had no idea what we could do, or any. I had no idea where we're going. Right? I had an idea that I thought would be awesome to be able to combat and actually fix the VA, which then looked much different to my eyes because I had no information about what the actual everything about the VA, all the nuances and all those things, right? So it's yeah, it's I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out day by day.
Yeah, I can tell you, I feel the same way. That learning process is a continual thing. Uh, from combat boots to ambulance sirens to business grind, what part taught you the most about leadership?
I really think leadership kind of there's not one most part about leadership. Leadership's multifaceted, right? So you have from patience to discipline, uh, when you have different people. So like military side, you learn your chain of command, right? You get your good and your bad examples of a proper squad leader, PL, whatever you have, you get your examples there. So as you go up, and let's say you make E5 or you make sergeant, once you're at that point and you have people under you, you start learning about putting them before you. So I feel like that's one of the stages of leadership. And then the next one, going on to the ambulance, you're not only are you dealing with somebody's life, but you also have this EMT with you who is watching you, wanting to learn. And during the very stressful situations or the irritating ones and all that, you have to maintain your composure. And I feel like that's a piece of the patience portion of leadership you learn, is because you're able to sit there and not only are you having to internalize whatever is happening, but you're having to make sure that your partner who's with you all the time also doesn't get thrown off the entire time. So you try to lead from the front in that aspect. And then with business, man, it is an ever changing every day you're learning about leadership. Every day I feel like I don't know about it. I've read the books, I've been working on it. And I think I'm a decent one now here. But every time there's a situation pops up and I'm just like, man, I have no idea what to do here. And it's here I think I've learned the most about being confident in your decisions and making sure learning how to evaluate decisions. I've made a lot of rash decisions when I started this. We all do when you start something, right? And you're trying to find the best thing. But over time, I've gotten to learn how to take my time and evaluate before a decision, learning how it affects the outcome all the way down the line. So I think what's helped here is I've learned patience on this side, and I've learned how my decisions in leadership affect the rest of the people.
Okay, let's kind of go on the other side of the needle here. Uh, when you meet a lot of your patients uh, in the ambulatory fashion here, most of them are, well, I won't say most, but I would say that you're not getting them at their best.
No, for a
So,
lot of them, it is the worst day.
right, and so how do you use that leadership and that patient uh, in order to also make sure that you make sure that you're the person that you're getting is not only as calm as you can make them, but it is also being able to give them that reassurance, like you say, and what is in some cases, the worst day of their life.
So I think it's different for pretty much everyone that does it, right? For me, what I like to do is you kind of learn how to not process. If you think you walk in and your whole goal is one, establish no life threats, all that stuff. But outside of the actual medical, your goal is to appear calm, cool, collected, no matter what you see. Because if you give that instant nonverbal reassurance, you're going to be more reassuring to that person. So the biggest thing there is just remaining cool. And then afterwards, that's when you get to experience it. That's when you deal with it. Now, when you deal with it, that's when you should be going to therapy and stuff as well.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Now, in my older age, of course, when I was younger, nobody knows me better than me. Da, 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 how you get caught up in that ego thing.
I do. I,
So, especially paratrooper and all that. You know what I mean. You get in those elite units. You have different ideas. Well, I'm
you
sure
got
you
an
have.
ego, you're
Yeah, I mean, especially young men, full of testosterone. The deal here. Uh, so I want to talk to you about claim climbers here for a minute. The mission and the momentum, so to speak.
yeah.
What is claim climbers, and what makes your approach different from those who uh, get your rating fast crowd?
So, ClaimClimbers, we help veterans get VA disability not by helping filing the claim or doing any claims assistance whatsoever. What we do is we provide the medical opinions that are needed or the nexus opinions that are needed for your service connection. That way, when we get your records in, we review everything. We say, hey, let's say your right foot's connected to your back, right? And so, in order to connect those, we have orthopedic doctors that then review all your records. We get a health impact assessment from you. So, you fill out a form about how it impacts you daily. We tie in pathophysiological connections, medical studies, case law, VA language, and we create this comprehensive letter that when you submit your claim, whether you're using a claims agent, VSO, by yourself, it doesn't matter. Is when you submit that, you can include that Nexus letter, and all that rater has to do is be able to look at it. And not only will they have an opinion, but we reference your records in there so they know where to go find their stuff. It takes that huge workload that rater has and brings it significantly down so they can go find the relevant evidence faster. And that's what helps get them service connection.
Okay, now I know it's probably not a problem that you have here in these modern times where there is a paper trail. But what about older guys like me, Vietnam vets? I remember the letter. There was a fire, and your records were burned.
Yep.
How do you
So
get past those types of hurdles?
we can still take your current treatment record. So whatever you're currently still being treated for, as far back as you can go. Let's say all the rest is gone, especially if it was burnt up in that fire that you're referring to. It's God, I can't remember what year it was. I can't remember what year, but I know that they have. There's a whole bunch of situations like that, to where a whole bunch of records have been caught. So what they can do is they can exit delay statements in turn of that. So spouse letters, people that you served with, things like that, in order to talk about your life and then your actual connection and your chronicity of that condition. It's going to be connected based off of your previous statements of you and everyone else's statements of what happened then, whatever records you can prove, and to show that you're still dealing with a chronic problem. And in your medical notes now, it's not going to say that your back pain started 2 days ago. it's going to say back pain times 20 years for how long it's been hurting. So they can use that to establish a connection. And that's what we would do for them. We would gather all those statements, we would look at it, and then we'd build the connection between, hey, here's how the back was originally injured. Here's how it's worsened over time. Here's how, on a patho level, it completely makes sense. And this is beyond normal wear and tear as well. And this is why it should be connected.
Wow. I'm
Sorry,
amazed.
that throw with my hands. It's like it's how I.
No, I mean, as I said, like I spent a period of time where, I didn't even want to deal with the VA. Especially when, after I got that letter, it's been a fire, da 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 da. So, and then, as time went on, uh, I did get with an agent, but this was not the approach that was used. So I'm probably getting ahead of myself here, but is this also a process? I don't know. Is this because of more efficient technology nowadays?
That we can do this?
Yes.
I mean, if you count.
I mean, you have AI and everything else now.
Yeah. So you can, I mean, we have knowledge bases through AI, like that helps our employees learn and stuff.
Okay.
So, and make sure that all of our staff, that when you call in, you get a staff member, we have a knowledge base we built out for everybody that, and then they have a chat bot they can reference that's just our knowledge. And that way they can pull up actual answers. So that way, even if someone's new on the phone, they're not going to come and seem like, it's day one. They're going to be able to actually answer questions that people need answered. When it comes to actual work, our providers, they're the ones that write and sign the letters.
Okay.
And then we have four or five medical reviewers. So nurses, PAs, things like that, they go through and they fully review the medical records. We have former VSOs that work for us, and they help us with the connection sides as well. So it allows us to have a medical side review your records, then VSO side say, hey, with all this, like we can absolutely connect this to this, while we can justify it medically. And then we have our own database of medical research and case laws that we found we're trying to make work and things like that. And then we keep track of all new ones,
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. What modern technology can do here.
It
So
is. It definitely helps the employees and all of our team members actually learn a lot more.
yeah, like I always say, nowadays you can carry your computer in your hand, whereas
You do.
before it used to take a room. You had to make sure the computer was cool and you were getting your facts from here, and you had these big things with the wheels running. you
Now you just got four computers in one room and plus
now
on
you
your
can
phone.
now you can have four computers in the palm of your hand, all of them
Yeah,
doing different
yeah,
things.
man. Especially with those new phones that open up all the way.
uh, so, what were some of your early startup mistakes that helped make you tough?
That helped make me tough.
Because I'm sure like when you came through and you had those first couple mistakes, it
I
was
hired
like,
my
oh,
friends.
woe is me,
I hired my friends, and I thought that I thought good friends would be good coworkers. How about that? And I quickly realized why friends are friends and coworkers are coworkers, right? That was that was a very eye opening event for me. I was like, oh yeah, everybody gets to come work. It did not work out well. That was probably one of my biggest ones and I still, if I went back to this day, I would still be willing to hire people I knew. I'm not on the side of don't hire people you know, but you have to be able to have that objective boundary between friend and coworker, right? And that's kind of the biggest difference between the two is as long as they can keep that boundary with you, then it's cool. But most can't, from what I've found out firsthand. At least most of my group work couldn't.
I worked in the restaurant industry. I really understand what you're saying.
Yep.
you know. Uh, how did you find your nationwide team here, and how do you keep this culture strong?
So it's a strange story how we all met because we all knew each other through mutual people, and we all ended up talking together. It was on a Google Meet once, and so one James, our chief marketing officer, CMO, he's in Washington. Matt, who's in Montana, and then myself, I'm in Tennessee. And we all sat and we met, we talked. They like we just kind of shot some ideas because we knew mutuals, and we decided just to give it a go. And at that, then we started like as things started building, we've started to build our team, right? And so we put our first physical location in Washington. So while we are a remote company, we have two physical locations. We are in Washington and in Tennessee. And we got our first office there, and we have I am a huge I'm a huge believer in keeping culture alive in the workplace. I mean, like we try to all have one-on-one meetings. We like you have your skip levels, but then you also have your generalized chats to where you guys can all humanize each other and make sure everyone can be able to just talk, right? We encourage people to actually bring up when they have suggestions or if they don't agree with something. I am perfectly okay for constructive criticism in public. It's one of those things that we push for to have in the company because my goal is to be like Adobe. My goal is to be these best companies that have amazing, like not necessarily the size, but in how well they treat their employees, right? I want ClaimClimbers to always be the company that treats the employees the best. And that's, yes, we're known for VA disability and helping you get your service connection. But from an employee aspect, I want to be known as a very good company to work for. So we try to make sure everyone's thoughts are heard. And sometimes it feels a little overwhelming sometimes, but it is completely worth it. And so I make a trip down. All of us take, because Matt's in Montana, James in Washington. So we all take quarterly trips to go visit the teams in each area to at least go see everybody, spend time with them. And then we all have Slack that we all talk through. And so we have a whole water cooler chat where you always get to just have that communication, if you will. And I think that's how we really keep our culture. I'm extremely proud of our culture here.
Um, One thing I have to ask because um, I have found a vast difference between the availability of medical care in different parts of the country. As I said, I moved here. I moved out to San Diego, where I've been for the last almost 20 years. But I moved here from back east, and I dealt with two organizations, two veterans hospitals. One was in Cleveland, Ohio, and the other was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I would find with much frequency that I could get an appointment in Cleveland, drive 60 miles each way, and then be told that the doctor is not available today. In Pittsburgh, pretty much the same thing. One of the reasons why I moved out here in 2003 was very specifically because of the way that veterans are treated out here medically. Now, I don't know whether it's just because it's a military town, but I know when I have an appointment out here at 2 o'clock, uh, 1400, I see somebody by 14:15. How do you guys deal with having to go through so much red tape in certain sections, and then like kind of like you say, smooth at the water cooler chat, when you're talking about places like maybe San Diego, Norfolk, Virginia. How do you reconcile those, especially being from such diverse places? You said one of your gentlemen was in Montana.
Yeah, Matt's in Montana. Matt is in Montana.
Yeah.
James is all the way Washington, and I'm all the way down south. And
Do
I
do you find that same type of diversion and treatment?
so from what I've seen, taking let's if we take out where I live, because I'm in Memphis, so and yeah, but Washington and Seattle, they I know that it's been very good care there. I haven't heard much about the Montana one or anything near Matt there. Um, but when it comes to Tennessee versus there, I do love how much it definitely feels more like in the western side of the country. It's maybe it is because they're more military towns. You'd say, you know, same reason why you said it'd be good in San Diego.
Yeah.
But when it comes to see the difference in pretty much everyone that we talk to, though, no matter where they are, the thing is, all of them are still frustrated with it. All of them still have issues with it, and that is the one thing that we have seen consistently. You find one veteran who has consistently gone to the VA, not had a problem once, and that doesn't matter where they are. So while I think yes, the care is improved in some places than others, I think still nationwide there's still an issue with that.
Okay. I was I share friends back east, and I know they uh, you get a shot and a bunch of lidocaine patches, and that's it, you know.
Well,
But
man, I'm prescribed to 800 milligrams of ibuprofen 3 times a day for the rest of my life. I feel like.
see, I've had a couple heart attacks, so I take my share. I have about 9 medications that I have to take every day. Bad kidneys, black, the whole nine yards. But if Claim Climbers had a mascot, what would it be? A mountain goat, a bureaucratic slayer, or just a very tired veteran holding on to paperwork?
You know, for the life of me, I cannot come up with an answer. I have tried and tried and tried. I have asked my CMO. I've asked Matt. We have. I'll let you know as soon as I can come up with one. I can't come right now. The only thing because the thing is, Claim Climbers is so multifaceted in so many different areas that you can't contain yourself to just one animal, right? So I'm like, okay, well, can we combine animals? And then it became an entire meeting on whether we can combine animals to become the mascot. So I will get back to you as soon as we know, but I'm thinking some type of mix, right? That's about where we're at on it.
uh, I hear you. I hear you. It sounds good. But let's talk about the VA system and privatization, excuse me, for a minute. Is the VA system truly broken, or is it just overloaded or outdated? And outdated. And or that outdated.
I think it could be both. Broken could be the symptom, whereas outdated, overloaded, those are two root causes. There's so many areas that are cracking with it, right? And overloaded, outdated, inefficient due to the staff, right? Staff reductions and all these type of things. You have constant turn of employees. There's so many different ways it's coming at it right now that I don't think that I think it could be all of them because I think it's broken, but it can be fixed. And that's why it's good for it to be broken and broken to be just a symptom. Because we already understand a lot of these underlying causes. Overloaded, outdated. They've done a few pilot programs trying to implement AI into the rating process. 2020 was the last one I remember, which was for the migraines. It was no, it was hypertension. I believe it was a hypertension rating based off your records. They were trying to do an AI on a whole pilot program. So I feel as if that they could invest in a different area potentially. I have no idea. I don't do their budget, but I think being able to go instead of just trying to treat that symptom of, oh, we're broken, let's try to treat one of the other symptoms. We're overloaded. What does that necessarily look like? Well, if it looks like improving efficiency via technology, then at that point you're improving the overloaded and outdated. So you're starting to fix those signs and repair at the same time. I know that's much more complicated than that. And I understand it's a huge, like, let's just say a 9 million foot view. That's fine. But yeah, it sounds fantastic, right? But I understand there's the nuances in there. And I think that it could be hopefully headed in a direction like that one day.
All right. Um, so, what does fixing the VA look like to you uh, on a ground level? I mean, to give you an example, um, out here in San Diego, they're hiring doctors, but there's a freeze on nurses. I don't know how that makes sense.
So there is how the VA looks like, all right. So I have my own goal of how I want to approach the VA. And my goal would be to start with the third party contractors they have, right? Not saying they're good, not saying they're bad, but being able to go in and implement standardization, the standardization of the appointments, making sure everything is on time, right? As you move forward, making the process more efficient from contractor to VA. At that point, after you have in a perfect world, let's say you get all of that stuff standardized and you're increasing the efficiency, then you could start leveraging technology, start building it into that groundwork, into the contractors first, in order for the medical reviews. And that way you're not having overloaded raters. Well, really, you have reviewer, then you have your rater. So you don't have your overloaded reviewers receiving these large packets and having to go through to make sure things are there. It's able to automatically scan, and then they can do sample testing and things like that to make sure that nothing's missed. And what that can do is it can start looking at increasing objectivity. Not when I'm saying that I am saying that they're subjective there. I know the goal is not to be, but in by being human, you are subjective, right? Everyone, and that doesn't mean you act on it, but just in the sense of you could be tired as well. You could miss a page, things like that. Mistakes happen in the VA a lot when filing for a claim. So I think starting with the third party contractors and being able to implement technology into the VA and being able to, it would increase the objectivity of it. Not necessarily the approvals, not necessarily the denials, but my biggest goal would be fixing the VA mistakes that are made, right? How much they're at currently a 79% 12-month accuracy that are not supplemental claims that doesn't count supplemental, it just counts the higher over reviews.
You do
But
realize that 79% is a D, right?
yeah,
I'm just saying.
their 12-month accuracy right now is 79%. Isn't that great? So I think that there's ways to solve it. I really do. I just think that it's going to take a lot of time. I think as long as we continue aiming towards walking each step closer and closer, going towards the VA, just trying to bring objectivity, not trying to bring additional profit, not trying to bring it. We're trying to be able to go and make it to where veterans don't have to go get private medical opinions. Because we want, when someone files, I want them to know that your file is looked at objectively, that it's cared about. You don't need to go pay an outside source. And I understand that's what we do. And we're feeling the need right now. But my goal is to take this need and merge it to where they no longer need it. Right? So not necessarily get rid of it because everyone still needs that medical opinion, but by increasing the efficiency of the contractors and on the VA side of just their medical opinions, making sure it's objective would take that 79%, regardless whether it increased approvals or denials, it would still increase their accuracy. And if you are supposed to be rated 100% and you get rated 30%, and it takes you 10 years to figure out that you got rated wrong, yes, there's back pay and all that stuff, but that's 10 more years. Whereas if you're 100%, you should have been rated 40%, and you go that 10 years, and then they say, hey, we made a mistake. So now we're going to forfeit pay, right? Start drafting pay from your check to pay back the loan. Not loan, but you know what I mean? When they overpay, you know how it is. They track every penny. They really do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
So
do.
the thing is, like, either you would it just makes the situation cleaner because you know what to expect. Not everyone's going to get to 100%. And that's not the goal. The goal is to get you what you deserve by your medical records, by what you've gone through, by what your diagnoses are, regardless what it is. Whether it's significant, whether it's minor, it's not for us to say in the slightest.
So when you talk about the VA, what if they had a suggestion box and somebody actually read it? What would you drop in first?
What would I drop into a random VA suggestion box that just the head of the VA drops in? He just goes and reads it.
Yep.
Keep going. I know that sounds insane, but like, man, you gotta think about it. Like at the top level, they're trying. There's a lot of initiatives out there, but there's a lot of roll down. In order to make a single change in the government, right, it takes years, right? Even the good policies are pushed in. You still have so much to go down. I feel like all they could do to at that level to improve it would be to slowly shift the focus of what they're focused on, what they're trying to improve, right? So if you're talking about the accuracy and things like that. So I think I just have to, man, that'd be a hard job. Yeah, man.
But now,
Can you?
see, that's why I have a problem with privatization because I'm not sure that it would become more of a political football than a cure.
I think it would be. I think it would be great for a little bit. For a little bit,
We,
until
we, we
just
haven't even been through the first 100 days of this presidency, and already we're under attack.
yeah. So okay, so I think it could be like if you were talking about the full privatization of the VA, right? That I think that would take years to roll out in the first place. But I think as long as they still had a standard, it would be good for a while until capitalism is great until longer term, and then when companies start looking towards profit, right? At that point,
Precisely.
once they start looking for profit, there's no more like it's great, but now they can start slowly building up. I think I can't tell you whether it should be privatized or not. I wish I could. Man, I wish I knew that answer. I think both ways there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons both ways. And at this point, the only thing I can kind of hope to do on our end is continue pushing for objectivity, regardless whether it's private, regardless whether it's government. If we push objectivity, taking things at face value, then no matter which way it goes, it will still be better. I can't actually tell you whether it should be or shouldn't be privatized, though, man. I wish I could make that decision.
Well, we're just asking for your opinion. I mean,
Oh man, it's hard though. That's the thing, you know. It's one of those things
hey,
you sit on and you just go back and forth. I've just been stewing on it for God
yeah, because
a minute.
I mean, out here, one of the things they use is first care. Where you can go to, a physician or a specialist that you need that's closest to your home. You don't necessarily have to go all the way to the VA hospital. And as you say, I mean, you go to the VA, and you get this one type of care, and then you go out to the private doctor, and all of a sudden here's all these brand new equipment, and so forth and so on, and you
It's
wonder,
different every single time.
yeah, how come, like, I mean, everybody has, access to the same equipment as far as, looking in the same catalog or whatever. How come you have to order this, you know, 25-cent scalpel here, and this other guy gets a $500 scalpel? What's the difference? I mean, is one of these made of gold or but you understand what I'm saying,
I do.
uh,
I do.
so, what most frustrates veterans that come to you uh, for this claim process? What's the most frustrating thing that you find that most of them express?
They didn't even look. They didn't
Hmm.
even look at their records. They missed things. The things that get missed. I understand they say it's 79%. There's a reason to harp on it because that is what we hear. People get denied because people are overworked, that they're not able to fully go through everyone's records. They're missing things. And so they don't know what to do. You have people that are exposed to terror or toxic exposure. They qualify for the PACT Act, right? They file, nothing happens. They get denied. They have no idea why. Higher level review gets approved, everything's all good. But how many people give up between filing, getting denied, and appealing it? How many people give up? So when we talk to veterans, most of them have given up. Most of them are done with it, or most of them still have just a little bit of hope left. It's not much. It's not many that come in like, oh yeah, full steam ahead. Let's just knock out the VA. Like, yeah, disability is nothing. It's easy to get. Nobody comes in like that because you don't go look for a medical opinion, even though it can help very much and it's a huge success factor. people don't realize that until after they've been denied. So that means that they're already defeated. And they send us their denial letters and we look at them. And I will tell you, we write a lot of rebuttals. We write a lot of appeals. So that's kind of one of the most frustrating thing I would definitely think would be is I didn't even read my paperwork, my records.
So, what's the first thing that someone should do when starting their claim?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're, it depends on where you're. If you like just now, I want to file my claim right now, then get all your medical records possible that you have. Just before anything, get your medical records. See what all diagnoses you have. Think back about what happened in the military. Think back about what could have been happened or what could have been caused by anything in there. And if you can't come up with anything, there are people like us who are good at doing that. Like with our record review, it's it's a 195 charge, but then after that, if we did not find anything we connect, we give the money back, right? So yes, it's for the process fee, but if we can't help you, we're gonna give the money back because there's not a point to keep it, right? So there's people like us that you can find that can help go through your records and find, hey, these are things you could potentially qualify for. Or you can look on your own, which is completely fine. Call a VSO. Getting a VSO is someone that can, and I don't just mean any VSO, finding a VSO that you get along with. I know that sounds strange, especially if you've never contacted one, but their VSOs come in many different shapes and sizes, right? You have really good ones, you have ones that don't necessarily care about their job. You find one that you connect well with, that you can talk to, everything's good because they're the ones that are going to be helping you through that disability process, and they're free of charge. Always start free, always. So you can go to them and they can help pull your records for you. They can look at everything with you. You don't have to do it alone.
Okay, all right. So, all companies claiming to help veterans, are pretty, as they say, uh, one six in one, half a dozen in the other. But what the red flags that you should look for when you're choosing an organization or contacting an organization?
First, if they don't know what they're talking about, I know that sounds so when you call, if they have people there that you're talking to that cannot explain absolutely anything about the process or answer any questions about the VA at all, that's going to be a sign right through that how can this company be an expert in what they're doing if they can't have any knowledge of the VA, right? But when you're looking at fees, you shouldn't be having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for one letter, or you shouldn't be having to do all these different types of you shouldn't have to do so many different record reviews and different additional fees for a specific letter and things like that. You shouldn't have to, in my opinion, this is fully my opinion right here, you should not have to give up your back pay in order to gain your benefits. That's why we do not take back pay in the slightest, but I had to pay $20,000 out of my back pay. And I learned right then and there that all they really did was tell me kind of how to get some personal statements, and that was about it. And I signed a contract with them, and I ended up having to pay $20K. When I filed and did it, it was that company did not do it. And so when it comes to companies that take back pay, there are places, lawyers, accredited agents, all these things that are extremely good at that. It's good that they can take back pay because they can help you out. Those are for cases where you've been denied several times. And then you can go to the board of Veteran Appeals, the CAVC, and you're appealing everything over and over again. That's when it's really good to have a lawyer because that's not going to cost you anything up front. And yes, you'll pay the back pay, but they're expensive. On your first time filing, you're just doing an appeal. In my opinion, there's not really a reason to pay the back pay. right? Because they can take up to 33%.
Yeah. Okay. So they will take the standard fee then, like you say, 33%.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now the fee is it definitely it can range, right? But the max they can charge is 33%. So you can have companies that do 21%. I think I know 21. I know there's some that are 28s, and then most of them are 30s, 33s.
Okay. All right. So there's, I think you used the slogan, there's no growth without friction. Uh, what kind of lessons hit home to you?
You know,
Other than hiring friends, of course.
other than hiring friends, I'd say, and I know that I was going to go to the opposite spectrum and say firing them.
It's okay.
I know that that sounds, but as you grow, you are having to accept a different standard of work, right? A different standard. You're wanting high quality people to help people. And it takes a lot of work to recognize when it's time to move past somebody. And it can make you question a whole lot of things in a company. It can make you question pretty much everything in how you hire, who you move past. And if you don't go through something of that magnitude, I feel like you're not going to have the well, you could still gain. It's a way for you to gain experience in the company and gain understanding where your actions have consequences. By you bringing someone on that didn't qualify or something like that. So one of the biggest things is as you grow your company, people are going to fall off. And when you are sitting in leadership, you're the one that has to make that decision. Or you and your team and everyone, but you're the one that has to also go say it and stuff. So giving yourself the courage to do that, I feel like there was a lot of growth in moving forward and how we have. I've had to experience a lot of growth, and it has only been caused because of friction. That's why I say that, right?
Uh, yeah. Now, so which was harder to you? Uh, Military service, being EMS, or building a company?
Man.
Yeah, I got some hard ones for you, man. I don't throw too many softballs. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. No, that's good. It's because like here's the thing. They're all hard in their own ways, but I will say a business has been the most. It has been the most rewarding and the most exhausting. And I say that with being being a parent. I'm still licensed as a paramedic, but I worked as one for 8 years. So even though you have amazing, awesome moments as a paramedic, right? Like these awesome moments that could be life changing. It's great. You get to be there for people at their worst days. Doing this, I've gotten to build a team of people that trust us, believe in what they're doing. They're trying to help people. We have gotten to give families jobs. Like we have gotten to help take care of our people. And that's my biggest joy about it. But that's also the hardest part of it, right? Is now you have yeah, the business by far, I think, would be a year ago I wouldn't have said that, but now I feel like I think I aged 3 days for every one day, if that makes sense.
Dog days.
Yeah, man, 7 days per day. That's about me.
So you've dealt with trauma and chaos and red tape. What's your secret? Caffeine, sarcasm, or yelling into a pillow?
Therapy. I'll tell you, man, it is. I don't ever want to put a negative stigma on that ever. I always push for it. It is. It's the one thing that's helped keep me sane through absolutely everything. Right.
Hmm. Okay. 20 years ago, see, that was a sign of weakness.
It
Uh,
sure was, and that's why I'm happy to say it proudly out loud, because I will never let it be seen as a weakness for me. And as long as I have a voice, I will make sure veterans know it is not a weakness. It is good to have, even if it's just preventative, even if it's just maintenance, whatever it is, even if you don't have someone to talk to. The VA, take out the VA. Let's say you're active right now, or you're guard or anything like that. You have military one source. They have free counseling. There are so many free mental health counseling services out there, especially for veterans, that they don't necessarily know are out there. But even if they know, that same stigma has always been there. That's weakness, and it's not. It's
yeah,
one take care of yourself.
yeah. I can definitely tell you from my generation's standpoint, but you know, even now, I find myself still using the same tools of anger management. And sometimes I have to go back and resharpen those tools because it gets a little crazy out here sometimes. you know,
Man, I'm telling you, it. See, that's the thing. It's a toolbox to have. Just because you go through therapy in order to help yourself deal with life is heavy, man. People that join the military, people that go through it, man. It's even. I mean, God, life is heavy by itself. You're stacking on all this other stuff. You're just increasing plate after plate on life.
dude,
Getting it off your chest, being able to talk about it does help.
I've been in anger management since 1978.
Well, there you go.
I mean, seriously, because you know, different things, but I mean, it's just, like I said, like it was almost, to me, just to admit that I needed someone to talk to
It's
was, a heavy blow to the ego. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to go talk to somebody. What the hell you mean?
exactly. And that's the thing is it's always been like that. I know in the last few years there's tried to be a huge shift, and there has been a shift in a lot of the country. But among the veteran community, that shift has not happened. It started to. I think it's opened, but that shift towards, hey, it's okay to get help. It is human for life to suck, man. You know, if life doesn't suck, if life has never sucked for you, then you're not human. So it's good to have that, and it's good to always push that stigma away.
Yeah, I know I'm keeping you over a little bit here, but I've only got a couple more questions for you. Sorry, sometimes I get a little personal there.
No, you're good.
Okay, so what advice do you have for someone who wants to build something meaningful but feels unqualified? People. I need to go to college. I need to get this degree. I need to do that. I mean, a lot of us, can put our personal experiences, uh, you know, uh, into coaching and like, you know, actually, you know, I think it's much easier to talk to someone that feels that they can connect with you on some basis, whether it's a physical or or mental. But I think there has to be a connection here in order for there to be a success. What do you think? Is there such a thing as being underqualified or unqualified?
I will tell you that I'm unqualified to be an astronaut, and I take out education completely. I got no interest in it. Right? You're qualified in what you put your work into. You're qualified in what you put the work into, regardless whether it's college. I don't have a college degree. My first podcast on was degree free because I don't have a college degree. And man, I was a high school dropout. So it when it comes to unqualified, I really don't like the word unqualified because you can make, like, if you want to build something out of nothing, you currently and you feel unqualified. The most wealthy place in the world is the graveyard because of all the ideas that have been left there, right? It's a saying from forever ago I heard, but the thing is, you're not unqualified. It's your idea. No one else has that idea or whatever you're wanting to do. No one's going to see it the exact way you're seeing it right now. So you are the most qualified to execute your idea. You are always the most qualified. You're never unqualified to execute your idea. Now, a million things might crash and burn, but that's kind of part of it, right?
It's called experience, right?
It is, man. It's all about falling down.
It
I
does.
can't tell you how many businesses I tried to build. Oh man.
Wait till you've been around 3/4 of a century, and then you. So,
Yeah, you bet.
what you say? Uh, so, where do you see claim jumpers in 5 years? And what legacy would you like to leave, to build?
I am hoping to see ClaimClimbers be the first company that takes medical opinions out of veterans' hands and into insurance and employers and things like that to make it an employer benefit and have health insurance cover it in order to work towards a VA. So, because we all know how slow the VA is, I want us to be able to at least get the cost out of the veterans' hands and put it into the people that are already supposed to be taking care of them, right? By doing that, they can, it's still, I mean, there's a whole spiel on I have on it, but that's my biggest goal is to just take the cost out of the veterans' hands. And the legacy I want us to leave is that I want to be known for the company that did change the VA.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there, man. We're gonna be there.
What's something about claim climbers that most people don't know but should?
If you were to use our Nexus letters and you submitted your claim and it got denied, we do free rebuttals. We'll review your denial, help you out with what's next. So if you need a new appeal, it's free of charge. It's not like we're charging you for each attempt you run at it. We're with you until service connection. And I don't think we've done a very good job at telling people that we are here from the beginning all the way until the end without taking your back pay. That way, you have a safety net and you are never alone against the VA, because the biggest way for you to give up on your own disability is by being alone, feeling alone in it, and then you can't go up against the VA anymore.
Well, we talked about claim climbers. Let's talk a little bit about your business. Tell us a little bit about that.
About which about
Is it the coffee? What it was something. It was something else that your company was, I guess, putting out. Other than what was it? Maybe I thought maybe you were the ones that was selling coffee. Maybe you're not the coffee guy.
no, we don't sell coffee.
There's, there's a veterans guy that he does a lot for veterans, but he does it through the sale of his coffee. Uh, all,
Okay.
all the proceeds from his coffee go into helping the company. But well, tell us where we can find Claim Climbers. Do you have any books out? Is there any pamphlets?
Yeah,
Website?
so we actually have
All that good
a
stuff.
to find us is just claimclimbers.com or Google Next Letter Near Me and you'll find us.
What
But
was that again? Google what?
Nexus Letters Near Me, you'll find us, or Claim Climbers, you'll find us.
Okay.
One thing we're doing right now, and it hasn't come out yet, the first episode will be on Tuesday. I have gone through and I'm filming a long form VA disability series explaining everything I can about the VA disability process, the nuances with it. I understand it's incredibly dry to people that don't care about the VA, but people going through the process, it's all the things I wished I had when I was filing and having questions about what each phase was and what is a higher level review, what are the types of it, what is a duty to assist, what are my rights, what type of claims are there, supplemental appeals, all these different things. I go through and break them down, and we'll be having 2 episodes drop a week starting on Tuesday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays we'll be having episodes drop, and I'll be walking completely through the VA series.
Now, will this be on YouTube?
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, my
is it
bad.
Zoom?
Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on. We're putting on a podcast as well, so we'll be on Spotify soon in order to have that. But right now, it's going to be on YouTube, I believe, and you'll be able to find the links on our Facebook. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, TikTok.
And, okay. And of course, as I said, will there be? I know you said YouTube, but sometimes people need to go through that step-by-step process. Are there any manuals coming out,
We
or
we
any?
currently have manuals. If you go to our website, we've got how to do pretty much everything on there, including videos, how to get your blue button reports, or how to get your medical records, um, explaining claims letters, explaining independent medical opinions. We have PDF walkthroughs, and then we also have videos. I am still working on making the PDF walkthroughs for each of these YouTube episodes, though. I'm wanting to make the PDFs for those. So, our steps about the process, yes, we have the PDFs there. On the YouTube series, not just yet, but I am going to be working on those.
Now, one other thing I wanted to ask you now, uh, is it one website for all, or are you divided off into different parts of the country, or
Just
uh,
claimcommerce.com. We are all one team. We all share this. I mean, yes, we're in different locations, but we all know each other. So, and everyone, we try to have everyone still meet. So we fly people out to make sure everyone still has that time. We're one team and one fight together, right? So we don't have the separation between anyone. You call it's 405-674-4187, and you'll get any one of our people.
now do you have certain hours of the day? Is it 24/7?
Yeah, so we're open. Let's see. You want to do PST or CST?
Why don't you do PSC?
Okay, so we're open from 9, no, 8 to 6. 8 to 6.
Okay,
PST.
so that's specific
PST.
time. Okay.
So, yes.
Well, I guess
Wait, no.
you.
No, I'm sorry, 6 to 6. Yeah, 6 to 6. Yep, sorry. Because we
Huh.
open up at 8 a.m. Central.
Oh, okay. All right. So you use Montana for your time?
So I'm in Tennessee. That's where we use. That's I
You use
started
Central
it
Time
here.
then?
Yeah, I'm in Central. So I'm about 2 hours away from Eastern
Yeah. Okay. All
because
right.
I'm in West Tennessee. So as soon as you pass up Nashville is when you get to the Eastern time.
All right. Yeah. Got some pretty good fighters down your way too. Uh, so now you see, I'm a Steeler guy here.
I see.
Yeah. So, what's the deal on Cam?
On,
Or or maybe you're not a Tennessee Titan fan. I don't know.
you know, I will happily tell you that we are a small business partner of the Seattle Seahawks, not the
Oh my
Titans.
goodness.
We are partnered with the Seahawks. It is we are, but we are not a no, no, we're not partnered with the Titans,
Okay,
which
well,
means
then,
I
okay,
don't know much about them.
now that makes it even more intriguing question because now you got Sam Darnold. You gave up your backup, Howell, to the Vikings. So, well, what's the deal there in Seattle? One of the guys that's on my sports show is he's a Seattle Seahawk fan too.
You know, man, I wish I could tell you. It is. I don't. I have not gotten to track this season. I did not get
Okay.
tracked the actual trade or anything, man. It's been busy. I've been busy.
Oh man. Okay. Tell us about the symbol there in back of you, my man.
I'm tell you about what?
The symbol in back of you.
Oh yeah, so this is our logo. Man, my fiance painted it up there, but it is since we're ClaimClimbers, right? It's a mountain,
Okay.
and then we originally tried to have look like a climber going up it, but we thought it was too cliche. And then who doesn't love an eagle, right? So we ended up getting an eagle designed into it and have the stars going up. And that's quite literally what it is. It's an eagle on a mountain, but it is the shields, because we're supposed to
You're
stand
talking
with
to a
you.
screaming eagle here, man. What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. I know, man. And that's the thing is, it's not even modeled after Screaming Eagles.
it's,
I
hey,
swear.
hey. But no, I did notice it was back there, and you know, but yeah, very very nice. So that's the logo on your website.
That is. You'll see it anywhere, everywhere, man. We try to be part of a lot of veteran events all around. So you'll probably see if you watch Seahawks or anything, you'll see our logo in the stadium.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. We might play you guys this year too. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know. That'd be
I know
fun.
I know we played the Chargers, so we might be playing you guys this year. But hey, man, it was good talking to you. I know you had other things on your Friday evening schedule, but hey, we appreciate anyone that wants to do anything for veterans, and especially generations, that now we are finally learning or at least experiencing the new technology, and it's much easier to find, much easier in some cases to get your ratings. So it's always good to find an organization that is trying to help veterans rather than shear us like sheep. But that's
Well, I mean, that's the thing, man. Is I've been there. You know,
it's,
I've been there. I know what it's like.
it's
So
yeah. Yeah, well, appreciate your time, my man. Any
yeah, Jay.
final thoughts for our audience before we let you go?
No, man. I genuinely appreciate it. It's a good conversation.
Uh, all right, man. Well, we hope to have you back as we see, some of the things that are happening within the VA itself, and hopefully, your way of finding these different medical records will help a lot of guys, like me. They got that. We there was a fire, and and all of that, and Uh, you can probably save a lot of guys a lot of money.
A
So
lot of headache, a lot of money, and man, let's face it, a lot of anxiety when you're waiting on decisions.
no, I was one of those guys myself. I mean, from 19, I want to say from 1978 until I moved out here in 2003. I had got fed up with the VA, and like going through all of that, and being denied, and but yet and still every time you go to the doctor, they want to give you more pills,
And
you
they
know.
find something new wrong with you, and like, oh well, it just happens.
Yeah,
Your body's just meant to break completely apart.
yeah, just because you jumped out of the airplane with 80 pounds on your back, I mean,
I
that,
understand you broke your knee when you landed. It did not hurt your back.
yeah. Well, hey, man, you have a great night, and I hope more veterans will take advantage of your organization. And hey, as I said, from one veteran to another, my man, I appreciate what you're doing for us.
I appreciate it, brother. Take care, James. All right.
Yeah, have a good night
Bye.
and a great weekend. All right, everyone. That was Mr. Samuel Ross, our guest for this evening. We hope that if anyone is having any problems with their VA client, their VA claims, please check out ClaimClimbers, ClaimClimbers.com. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday with a very different guest right here on We the People. Have a great weekend, everyone.